Hello, magical people. Welcome back to the Meg Moonbeam YouTube, Rumble, and X channels. My name is, of course, Meg Moonbeam, and I'm very happy to be here with you all. With all of you. Oh my goodness, to talk about this full moon in Leo that we are having exact on February 12th, 2025. Going to talk about it for us all as a collective, and also do readings for each of the 12 signs for this full moon. Hope everyone is doing well out there. I am back in Canada, and Jens and I have been all over the place. We are in between houses. We are getting ready to move at the moment. We were just visiting some family in the US. So I am very sorry, you guys, about all the background changes I've been going through in my videos, the pre-records lately, all that. There's just a lot going on personally and professionally at the same time. And I'm coming at you from, I went on a red-eye flight from Las Vegas to Toronto in the middle of the night last night. So haven't had a lot of sleep. And I'm coming at you. I'm showing up with my moon in Capricorn, okay? And I'm gonna try to do my best here. And it is a full moon in Leo, which is very fun and very playful. Not a normal moon in Leo, as we're gonna get into, but it's definitely one of the lighter lunations that we can have. So we're gonna get into that. Before we get into the astrology, please remember, you guys, to like, share, and subscribe to the Meg Moonbeam YouTube, Rumble, and X channels. My workshops, courses, and personal readings are available at the link in the description box below, as well as my newsletter. To sign up for my newsletter, that's to keep up to date no matter what happens with all the social media, all the stuff. Sign up for my newsletter to keep posted. And I will share with you guys, there's some very exciting things that I am going to be putting out there in the very near future. One of them I'm going to leave as a complete surprise, but there's actually a few things, but two things coming up very soon. One is a complete surprise that I'll wait until it's fully ready to be released. But the other is that Jens and I are going to be hosting a retreat in Algonquin Park the last weekend of June 2025, Algonquin Park in Ontario, Canada. It's looking like that is going to be our one retreat of the year. We were wanting to do one in Arizona and Utah, but we've just got a lot going on with moving this year. We want to respect our energy. We want to give you guys the best of an experience, and we're going to hold off until 2026 for our kind of desert retreat and other really fun stuff. We're going to do more retreats and travel offerings in 2026, but this year there will be one with my husband Jens and I, and it will be to Algonquin Park, and I'll share with you guys very briefly. So sign up to my newsletter in the description below to get updated on that as soon as we release that. And so excited that we are going to be staying at the #1 retreat center in Ontario, Canada. It's going to be a big difference from the retreat center we stayed at last time, which I think we talked about that before, was a little bit below our expectations, the one that we did in Canada in 2024, but we still had lots of fun. This time we're going to go to Northern Edge in the historic, world-renowned Algonquin Park. So we're going to be doing live astrology lecture, live Jens conspiracy spirituality lecture, drumming, ecstatic dance. We're going to be doing yoga. We're going to be doing meditation, campfires, canoeing. It's going to be so much fun at Northern Edge. So we're super, super excited for that. Again, sign up for my newsletter to keep posted with all that stuff. So that'll be coming out. So, Leo, full moon in Leo is all about shining in our gifts, in our talents, in our authenticity, in our confidence. Hello, MJ. So nice to see you. Yes, retreat. Yay. And also, of course, we have the Beyond Mystic conference coming up. That'll be with the whole Beyond Mystic team. That'll be March during the eclipses, March 14th to 16th. So you can go check that out at beyondmystic.net. I'm going to do a live astrology lecture there, live astrology DJ set, and some in-person readings as well. So there's a lot of fun stuff. Linda says, when is the retreat? The retreat is going to be, you guys, this is the first time I'm saying this publicly, so you guys are getting the inside scoop. The retreat is going to be, I think Friday, June 27th to Monday, June 30th, 2025 at Northern Edge, the #1 premier retreat center in Algonquin Park, Canada. We're so freaking excited. So there will be limited availability for that. Sign up for my newsletter in the description below to keep up to date with that as soon as it comes out. Serenity Intact says, hey, Meg, hope you've enjoyed all your travels. Thanks so much for sharing all your amazing astrology insights. Look forward to the sound healing show. Awesome. Thank you so much. And again, MJ says, as you always say, meeting in person is so important, of course. And that's why, Jens and I are so passionate about doing in-person retreats. And of course, Jean-Claude and Janine are putting together the Beyond Mystic conference because it's so important for us. And this is all about the age of Aquarius and Pluto and Aquarius transit for us to be together in person. Of course, it's such a gift that we have our online community. We're connected online internationally with like-minded people. That's totally a gift. But when we get in person, especially with like-minded people, and we share ceremony, we share dancing, we share drumming, we do sharing circles, we just share space, share sacred space. It is so healing and it is so natural. And that, I think, is the biggest thing missing in our Western society and why so many of us are sick, actually. So we're very passionate about sharing all that stuff. So let's get to right now, specifically, as I'm filming this Tuesday, February 11th, 2025, I usually do my full moon or my new moon videos. I try to do 5 or 6 days before the lunation, but because Jens and I have been on the road, I am coming at you the day before the full moon, which is kind of cool because we're right in the energy of it. So we're going to be having exact full moon in Leo, Wednesday, February 12th, 2025 at 8:53 a.m. Eastern. So adjust that to depending on what is the specific time zone that you are personally in. And as we know, full moons are our times of illumination, right? It is when Grandmother Moon is at her height of exuberance and brightness, and she is shining a light. She is illuminating to us whatever areas of life are ruled by the sign that she is passing through in the Western tropic zodiac. That's how we look at it in Western astrology. It's a time of illumination. It's also a time of healing, letting go, and completion. And I don't know about you guys. Let me know. Okay, is this just me or is anybody else feeling this? I've been having third eye headaches a lot lately, and I'm having it actually right now as I'm live with you all. I've been really feeling, as we're getting into this full moon energy, I've been really feeling just, what's the right word for me to use? I call it a third eye headache. Expansion, kind of an ascension symptom of not necessarily pain, but just a headache in my crown chakra and my third eye. And I feel like there's huge ascension symptoms that can come with this full moon in Leo because it is in a T-square to Uranus. Okay, one of the planets that rules our higher consciousness, the ruler of Aquarius, who's currently at his fall sign in Taurus. So there's a lot to this full moon. I'm going to talk about what this means for each of the collective and then all of the 12 signs. Typically a full moon in Leo can be very fun and playful and light and romantic. And yes, it does have those influences to it. But this is a full moon in Leo where we've got, I think it's 5 or 6 of the planets at either their fall or detriment sign. Okay, so many of the planets are in places right now that they are not comfortable being in. They're in signs that they do not like to be in. So even though the moon is bright, playful, positive, creative, romantic, our inner childlike wonder frequency can be shining through. It's one of the lighter signs. Leo is the only sign, ruled by the sun in Western astrology, but there's this theme of instability, this lunation with the T square to Uranus, and also being highly possibly uncomfortable. And let me know if any of you guys are experiencing that. Let me know in the live chat or the comments below. Are you, oh my goodness, Bobby says, for the last 2 weeks, purging, migraines, crown chakra, and a heart attack. Oh my goodness, Bobby, I'm sending so much love your way. Wowzers. Okay, this is intense. Leo does rule the heart in medical astrology. And with Pluto now being in Aquarius in opposition to the sign of Leo and to, wherever we have Leo in our charts and the sign of Leo in general, whatever planets we have in Leo, our hearts are being affected. Okay. And we can be more prone to heart issues with Pluto being in Aquarius. So something to pay attention to with that transit. That's kind of another story. Check out my Pluto and Aquarius master workshop in the comments below to get the deep dive on that. But, we've got the sun at detriment in Aquarius. We've got Venus detriment in Aries. We've got Uranus at fall in Taurus. We've got Jupiter at detriment in Gemini. We've got Mars at fall in Cancer. Okay. And arguably I don't know how I feel about this. It kind of makes sense to me, but Pluto is said to be at fall in Aquarius. So if you wanted to add Pluto in there, as some astrologers do, this would be 5 to 6 planets at the moment in their weakest, most uncomfortable positions where they do not like to be. During a full moon in Leo, in T square to Uranus, one of the planets at his fall position in Taurus, this is super instability. Okay, so you guys know, I keep it real with the astrology. I'm not one of those astrologers that comes at you every single video. This is the best full moon in Leo. All your dreams are going to come true. You're going to meet your soulmate. You're going to win $1 million. Okay, this is a full moon in Leo of high energy, high drama, high triggers, possibly being highly uncomfortable, not because the universe is punishing us, but because we need to let some shit go. Okay. As a collective, we are all one as a collective. And maybe there's some things personally in your life that you need to let go. And you can see where you have Leo in your chart, particularly 24 degrees of Leo within 5 degrees before and after of 24 degrees of Leo. What house do you have Leo? Do you have any planets, right, within that range? Because these are areas of life that need your attention at this time. And I'm hearing Spirit say, this could be a breaking point. This could be a very unstable breakdown point for a lot of us, but sometimes we need to have the breakdown to have the breakthrough. Okay, so I think that there's going to be a lot of people, and I'm not wishing this upon, I don't wish a mental breakdown on anybody, because myself personally, I've dealt with anxiety and panic attack throughout my life. And if you have ever experienced having a real deal panic attack, then you will know, like me, crazy Scorpio that I am, you literally feel like you are dying, and it's a horrible freaking feeling. So I don't wish that on anybody. But just saying that this can be a full, you might feel like you're having a mental breakdown or you're having a panic attack. And I feel Spirit saying there's things for us to pay attention to that we're maybe putting off, right? Around where have we given our power away? Interesting. Where have we given our sovereignty away? I'm hearing that word Spirit say sovereignty. Leo is about being your fucking brightest self, being the star of your show, of your movie, of your life, right? Yes, Leo in its shadow side can be ego and selfishness, right? And overpowering. But the light side, the empowered side, the balanced side of Leo is shining your brightness and not giving a crap about what anybody else thinks, being in your gifts, being in your talents, being in your value, being in your light, being in your love, being connected to your inner child, right? So as I'm saying those things, are you guys having any thoughts like, oh, I really want to be an artist, but I'm scared of what my dad thinks about that. Or, oh, I really want to have this in my sex life, but I'm scared about what my partner's going to, oh, I really want to, where are you not showing up as your most authentic self? Maybe you're listening and you're like, I don't really have anything like that at the moment that's an issue. I feel like I'm fully being myself. Then great. Okay. But I think a lot of us, none of us are perfect, and we're shifting as a collective right now, big time into this age of Aquarius. Probably most of us listening to this video right now have an area, and in particular, it'll be where in your chart you have the sign of Leo, where maybe you're not shining your brightest, right? MJ says shine bright. Maybe it's an area where you feel less than, maybe it's an area where you were brainwashed to feel disempowered, right? Or you're holding on to a projection from somewhere else. So it's intense and it's trippy and it's weird and it's unstable that this full moon is in a T-square to Uranus in Taurus, our comforts and our stability and our values and our security and our financial system, right? And our pleasures and enjoyments. But we can also look at it as not a punishment, but a positive, because Leo teaches us to be our most shiny, brightest, creativest selves, our highest potential, right? Leo is the only sign ruled by the sun. It is the highest potential. It is the star, right? So how can you show up more as the star of your life that you came here to be? Is that in health? Is that in love? Is that in work? Is that just being more in the present moment? Is that believing in yourself? MJ says, yep, time to deprogram. We've never been taught to shine. Yeah, totally, MJ. We've been taught the opposite. We've been taught to just be quiet and don't, just follow the rules. Don't get too loud. Don't get too silly. Don't be too fun. You won't be taken seriously. Right? I think we need more fun. Life hasn't been that fun. The world hasn't been that fun. And Leo is the sign of fun. So it's like this full moon is shaking us up. It's a big cleanser of things that no longer serve, from where we've been disempowered from our inner childhood, and where the fun and play has been lost for us as a collective, right? One of the things that I most value, me personally, and I've got, my fifth house of Leo is ruled by Leo. I've got my Chiron in Leo, in trine to my North Node and in square to my Pluto exact. Crazy. So I really value the sign of Leo. I really value fun, empowering others to be their brightest selves. I try to be my brightest self, even though sometimes there's obviously triggers or programs, things there, right? So this can be, with the T-square to Uranus, shocking downloads, insights, moving past barriers, moving past programs. And it's going to feel intense, and it's probably going to feel uncomfortable. Sun's at detriment. Venus is at detriment. Uranus is at fault. Jupiter is at fault. Mars is at fault. Retrograde. We've still got 12 more days of this Mars retrograde in Cancer. Oh my God. And Pluto's in Aquarius, which some astrologers argue is his fall sign. So there's a lot of, in the planets, right now. It feels kind of off. It feels uncertain. It feels highly unstable. And these are times, from now until the summer where we kind of have to make our own fun because it's not really there in the astrology. Sorry to tell you guys that. Once we get into the summer of 2025 and then full on in 2026, it's getting fun. I promise you that. Jupiter goes into Leo. All the outer planets enter fire and air signs. It's going to be a lot more of a fun and positive frequency. We're still kind of in the trenches right now of this really big purging period and wake up period. Uranus, right? This full moon in T square to Uranus. Uranus is the wake up. Uranus is the shocking consciousness shifts. And I find it absolutely wild. I have a few clips to share with you guys. Right before I went live, I was looking at some of the kind of things going on in the collective right now is we're just less than 24 hours away from exact. Oops, sorry, you guys. And I want to share, let me bring this up. This is freaking wild. Okay. This is from Libs of TikTok on X. Representative Anna Paulina Luna announces she will lead the task force on the declassification of federal secrets. They include the 9/11 files, Epstein files, JFK killing, RFK killing. Did I say JFK killing? RFK killing, Martin Luther King killing, COVID-19 origins, UFOs. Holy guacamole. And supposedly Glenn Beck, who's a very renowned journalist, is saying we are looking at within the next 10 days. So within the influence of this lunation cycle, which, by the way, side note, you guys, from my personal astrology research and just being a professional astrologer, and I've never heard another astrologer say this, but this is something I've personally noticed, is whatever the chart of the full moon is or the new moon is, it's actually like an influence that we're in for the whole next 28 days until the next lunation. And we can actually see that chart play out over the next 28 days. So makes sense. Full moon in Leo, exposing an illumination, full moon, of politicians, famous people, powerful people, high drama, children. I can't say the P word, if you guys know what that is, all ruled by Leo. In T square to Uranus in shocking ways through social media and technology. So here's a clip of Glenn Beck. This was on what's that podcast called? PBD podcast, confirming, according to his sources, the Epstein files and full client list will be released in the next 10 days. Holy crap.
The only thing I care about is the scandal of the pedophiles. And in the next 10 days, you're going to see the Epstein file released.
In the next 10 days?
Next 10 days.
Oh, please.
You think in the next 10 days the whole thing's going to be released?
Yeah.
And what kind of information you have to be able to be that certain about it?
I plead the fifth.
In the next 10 days.
Next 10 days.
Oh, please.
Glenn,
stop it.
Next 10 days.
You're teasing millions who want that list.
Day number 1, Kash Patel walks in. By the end of the day, it will be released.
Oh, please. Did Kash Patel get confirmed yet?
Not yet. They
Not
delayed
yet.
it.
Did RFK get confirmed yet?
Not yet.
Tulsi? None of them,
The
though.
House, not Senate. Yeah.
So
All
as
right.
soon as he's confirmed, his first day, it will be released.
Oh, I can't wait.
The only
Wow. And then this is also a clip. I'll put this at 1.25 playback speed, so it's a little bit faster, of Representative Anna, what's her name? Anna Paulina Luna announcing she will lead the task force on the declassification of crazy federal secrets.
He committed to declassifying the files concerning the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, Robert F. Kennedy, and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. A decision not just monumental, but pivotal. It is with profound honor that I have been entrusted by Speaker Mike Johnson and Chairman James Comer to lead the House Oversight Task Force on Declassification of Federal Secrets. Together with the help of the White House, our intelligence allies, the Department of Defense, the Department of Justice, we will be conducting investigations into the following: the assassinations of JFK, RFK, and Dr. Martin Luther King, unidentified aerial phenomena, also known as UAPs, unidentified submerged objects, also known as USOs, the Epstein client list, the origins of COVID-19, and the 9/11 files. This task force will be a beacon of bipartisanship. On the Republican side, Representatives Burchett, Boebert, Burleson, Crane, Gill, and Mace will be joining me, although I'd like to note that I'm expanding this to the entire governing body and will be allowing certain members to waive on. Our first hearing is set for March. The date will be announced soon, and we've already initiated close to a dozen communications with various agencies, to include Pam Bondi at the Department of Justice and the Secretary of State. This will no longer be a task force that makes bold promises only to fade into irrelevance or send strongly worded letters. This will be a relentless pursuit of truth and transparency, and we will not stop until the American people have the answers they deserve. We will cut through the bureaucracy, challenge the stonewalling, and ensure that the American people finally get the truth that they have been denied for too long. If we are to endure and thrive as a nation, we must restore trust through transparency. The American people must be trusted to think for themselves, to form their own judgments from the truth that they are entitled to know. We've been treated like children for too long and kept in the dark by those we elected to serve us. It is my solemn duty to begin mending this trust, to form a new relationship between the government and the governed. Let us embark on this journey together toward a government that does not serve, but one that enlightens. That does not just serve, but one that enlightens. Trust through transparency that begins.
Oh my God, this is freaking wild, you guys. Okay, and I'm seeing here in the comments, Pure Blood Prophet says, prepare your brain. Yes, we are going to need to prepare our brains. Kathy says, I know so many people who have no clue about anything. This is what the mind fuck is going to be, and this T squared to Uranus. Some people will mentally and their nervous system not be prepared for this, not be able to handle this, to where maybe they'll just have a full-on breakdown, which again, I don't wish upon anybody. Don't want that to happen just reading the astrology. Or maybe they'll just try to pretend, with Neptune still in Pisces, like it's not going on and these truths are not being revealed and Trump is bad and, you know, they're all just bad, right? Oh my God, it's so wild, you guys. Cheryl says, good. We've waited for years to really see the creeps being outed. And Dusty Blue says, bring on the transparency. I agree with all y'all, and thank you so much for your comments. Yes, Sassy Cindy, it is a timeline split for sure. And Sandy says, it's like two totally different universe. It is like two totally different universe. Yeah. So hold on to your hats, everybody, and stay grounded with this lunation. I'm going to say, not just over the full moon portal, which we're in it now because we're within the 3 days before the full moon. It's exact on Wednesday, February 12th, around 8 a.m. Or the 3 days after, which goes until, what's that, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'm going to say the whole next 28 days until the next full moon. This is going to be trippy, dippy, unbelievable, shocking, earth-shattering, unstable developments, things being revealed, consciousness shifts in the collective and our personal lives. So everybody hold on to your hats because this is going to be absolutely wild. TJ says, I'm ready. I'm ready too. I am ready too. And remember, take care of yourself. Leo is the self. Okay, so this is where sometimes people get tripped out because shouldn't I take care of other people before myself? Okay, if everyone around you starts having a freak out, right? Just using a silly example. Let's say you're the only kind of awake person in your life and everyone around you starts having a freaking freak out, and then you're giving all your energy away to placate and take care of everybody else. You are going to get sick and you are going to feel like shit. So this full moon in Leo is also very much about our boundaries and honoring self. right? And a lion, a true king, a true queen, symbolized by Leo, does not need to prove anything. I'm not saying don't speak your truth. I'm not saying don't speak the truth to others. I'm not saying don't go into in-depth conversations. Walk the talk. The lion is the king of the jungle and walks the talk. The lion doesn't even need to say anything, right? So just being yourself, being in love and light, being in, if you're around people that are tripped out and they don't know what's going on and they don't understand the information and the things being revealed and it's a lot for them, you don't even need to get into the explanations unless you feel really guided to. Just hold space, hold love, hold light. That's Leo. Does that make sense how I'm saying that? Hello, Jill. Thank you so much for the super chat. Mwah. Love you. You say thanks for all your hard work and dedication to keep us all informed during these historic times, Meg. Sending lots of love. Oh, I love you, Jill. Love you, Jill and Steve. Thank you so much. I love being there for you guys. And it's also, I'm like, just to share with you, you know, one of my greatest passions is the astrology. So I'm doing it for myself and I'm passionate about it from myself. This is a good Leo example. Therefore, it's in alignment for me to be sharing it with others. Leo. Leo is about our passions. Leo is about our gifts, and Leo is shining bright in that, right? So this is an interesting one. And, you know, it is at a Pisces degree. We didn't even get into that. There's so much, you guys. It's also at a Pisces degree, which Pisces being the last sign in astrology, 24 degrees and 12 degrees are the Pisces degrees. This deals with major ending, major completion, major karmic healing, right? So there can be karma that you're releasing with this full moon, right? Pisces is also very spiritual. It's a spiritual world. We've got Neptune in Pisces, still conjunct the North Node, only 1 degree off. This is once in a lifetime, you guys. I probably sound like a crazy person because I'm like, this is that, la, la, la. It's so crazy. This is once in a lifetime. Don't mess around with this. Don't let these transits pass you by. The transits work with us, even if we're not, you know, proactively working with them. But if you proactively work with them and know that this is one of the most highly auspicious, historic, veils are at their thinnest times, make use of that. Make the use of that for spiritual work, for manifestation, for visualization, for dream work, for ceremony, for creativity, right? All that stuff. This is wild stuff. So we're going to get into the predictions for each of the 12 signs. Just a couple other notable things, because Leo does rule children, right? So I do think that within this full moon influence, we are going to see major, kind of shocking, uncomfortable information regarding children. Okay. And don't know if you guys saw this. I want to play this little clip from the Super Bowl, which, to be honest, I don't really give a crap about the Super Bowl. Don't care if anybody does. I'm just not a really big sports person, but I always keep track with, you know, the musical ceremonies that they do during the Super Bowl. And it's interesting that this one seemed to be not as dark as ones as of late that have been happening. And Kendrick Lamar called Drake a pedo in front of all of America at the Super Bowl. Check this out. This is wild. And of course, Leo rules children. That is freaking wild. Did you guys hear that? So right in our faces at the Super Bowl, a very dramatic Leo-like event, one of the most famous rappers of our times calling out Drake as a pedo. This is absolutely wild. Also interesting that we've got Elon Musk bringing his child, right? Leo is the children, into the White House for a meeting, for a press conference with President Trump. And this was on, haven't even gotten to the whole Doge, what's called Department of Government Efficiency. This is just so much going on, you guys. I'll put this at double speed. We'll just listen to this really quick here. Interesting that he's bringing his child, right? Showcasing the children.
So at a high level, if you say what is the goal of Doge, and I think a significant part of the presidency is to restore democracy. This may seem like, well, are we in a democracy? Well, if you don't have a feedback loop, we'd have to. If you sorry, tell you gravitas can be difficult sometimes. If there's not a good feedback loop from the people to the government, and if you have rule of the bureaucrat, if the bureaucracy is in charge, and then what meaning does democracy actually have? If the people cannot vote and have their will be decided by their elected representatives in the form of the president and the Senate and the House, then we don't live in a democracy. We live in a bureaucracy. So it's incredibly important that we close that feedback loop, we fix that feedback loop, and that the public elected representatives, the president, the House, and the Senate, decide what happens, as opposed to a large unelected bureaucracy. This is not to say that there are good people who are in the federal bureaucracy, but you can't have an autonomous federal bureaucracy. You have to have one that's responsive to the people. That's the whole point of a democracy. And if you looked at this, if you asked the founders today and said, well, what do you think of the way things have turned out? Well, we have this unelected, fourth unconstitutional branch of government, which is the bureaucracy, which has, in a lot of ways, currently more power than any elected representative. And this is not something that people want, and it does not match the will of people. So it's just something we've got to fix. And we've also got to address the deficit. So we've got a $2 trillion deficit. And if we don't do something about this deficit, the country's going bankrupt. I mean, it's really astounding that the interest payments alone on national debt exceed the Defense Department budget, which is shocking because we spend a lot of money on defense. But and if that just keeps going, we're essentially going to bankrupt the country. So what I really would say is, like, it's not optional for us to reduce the federal expenses. It's essential. It's essential for America to remain solvent as a country, and it's essential for America to have the resources necessary to provide things to its citizens and not simply be servicing vast amounts of debt. So
talk about Uranus, Aquarian weirdness. Okay, we got Elon Musk, who is doing some good things. Okay, but we cannot be naive to him, in my personal opinion. Okay, this is my Scorpio coming out. We need to be very vigilant about this person. And I'm not saying that I am against Elon Musk. I'm just saying, okay, a lot of the things that he is involved in have to do with the New World Order. So it's just very confusing. He's very weird. He's very trippy. Time will tell the truth about him and his true intentions and character, right? Bobby, thank you so much for the super chat. Love you. I know I've been saying this for the last 2 or 3 weeks, and I promise I am going to do this in the very near future. I'm going to do a long form astrology of Donald Trump reading on, I might have to do separate videos because I want to do his year ahead. I also want to do looking at his birth chart. So I might have to do like Donald Trump part 1, Donald Trump part 2. Just got that download now. I'll probably have to do that. But in what I will share with you guys before I do that long form video is, in Trump's transits, he's got hidden enemies. Okay. And it could be Elon. Now, sorry, we're talking about the full moon in Leo, but Leo does have to do with politicians and leaders and powerful people. We'll go into the 12 sign predictions in just a moment, but just to share with you guys, Trump, I think he learned a lot from the first presidency. I'm agreeing with most of the things that he's doing so far. I'm not loving every single thing that he's doing so far, but he's definitely got hidden enemies. Now, in astrology, and I'll share this with you guys, and then we'll get into the 12 sign readings, okay? The 12th house of Pisces is hidden enemies. The 7th house of Libra is open enemies. And I get asked this question a lot, right? Meg, what's the difference between an open enemy and a hidden enemy? Very good question. Okay. Libra, open enemies in its shadow side, right? Libra is also our soulmates, our committed relationships. It's beautiful relationships, but in the dark side can be open enemies. An open enemy is, and I use this silly example, okay? You're friends with somebody, and let's say you're a woman, and you know that you have a friend that wants to fuck your husband, okay? Or you know that you've got a friend that's in love with your husband, but you're just pretending that that's not the case. But you know that. That's an open enemy. An open enemy is someone that, if you're honest with yourself, you know somebody's true intention. Okay? If you've got a lover and they're just using you because you're a multimillionaire and they don't offer you anything and they make you feel like shit, that's an open enemy. It's obvious. It's freaking obvious, right? Thank you, Spider Silk, for the super chat. Yeah, Chrissy says, open enemies, you know. You know. I could name 100 open enemies that I have. Okay, I'm a Scorpio. But anyways, that's a whole other story. 12th house, and this is what Trump has right now. And I'm going to get into this in my long form astrology of Trump video. You don't know. That's why the 12th house, it's freaky. The 12th house is freaking freaky, freaky deaky, because you don't know. So that's what trips me out about Elon Musk, because it's kind of a 7th house open enemy thing where it's just obvious, like, okay, either Elon Musk is bad for Trump or he's not. We know the electric cars are part of the New World Order. We know that the satellites can be part of the New World Order. We know the Neuralink, all of this stuff. It's not Elon Musk. I'm not saying Elon Musk is totally innocent. I'm not saying Elon Musk is a good guy. He would fall, if he does have nefarious intentions with Trump, he would fall under the open enemies. What concerns me with President Trump, and I'll get into it with some of the transits that he has in his 12th house, there's a hidden enemy, or 2, or 3. We'll get into it, where you don't know. You don't know. Like a 12th house hidden enemy example would be, you're friends with someone and they're putting hallucinogenic mushrooms in your tea, and they're stalking you and they're freaking crazy and you have no idea. You have no idea about it. It's like a stupid example. It's when you don't know. It's not obvious. You don't know. So that's kind of scary. And Trump has that right now. So we'll look into that in his astrology chart. But actually, good point that this full moon is conjunct President Trump's rising, because he is a 29-degree Leo rising. So going to be some sort of major ending with him, big time, that might be out in the open and might have to do with the T-square to Uranus conjunct his midheaven. Maybe he's going to let go of somebody from his team. Maybe he's going to let go of someone he's associated himself with, right? Chrissy says, hidden enemies in business, Saturnian. Totally. Okay, let's look at the readings for each of the 12 signs for this full moon in Leo. Sorry, I went on a little bit of a tangent there, you guys, but it all relates. There's a lot going on, and I hope you guys don't mind when I go on my little tangents. Okay, so we're going to start with our beautiful Aries, sun, moon, and risings. And I recommend that you listen to your rising and sun most of all when we're doing these predictions for each of the 12 signs, okay? So Aries, you are having this full moon in Leo in your 5th house. So this can actually be a full moon that is quite fun, is playful, is creative for you. There can be some unexpected romance or love affair that comes up for you as well. can be quite romantic and fun and creative. I want you, Aries, to be very mindful of your investments and your finances during this lunation time, because this full moon is in T-square to Uranus, who is in your second house of money and finances. And the fifth house does rule risky investments. So I'm going to say, with the astrology that we got going on right now, Aries, and I'm not a financial advisor, but not the best full moon to be making a crazy, investment or making a really intense financial decision or commitment. Okay, maybe hold off on that until we're out of this lunation energy. But positive is, again, can be very fun, very creative time. You can be having, since the dispositor of this moon in Leo, the sun is in your 11th house, there can be a completion, letting go of a friendship or group association or long-term goal that no longer serves you. So sending lots of love to my Aries out there, and have a happy full moon. All right, next we've got our Taurus, sun, moon, and risings. Taurus, you are having this full moon in Leo in your 4th house. So this full moon is highlighting your home, your family, your emotions, your emotional foundations, your ancestors as well. And this is a full moon where you can be feeling emotionally unstable and a little bit all over the place. Okay, we've still got that Uranus in your sign of Taurus in T-square to the sun and the moon at the time of this exact full moon. So this can be shocking developments, life changes from the very foundation of your life. Many Tauruses might be moving homes, might be needing to change something from the home, cleanse out the home, rearrange the home. I want you guys, Taurus, to be mindful of electric equipment in the home. Okay, with Uranus in T-square to this full moon, just be mindful of electricity, electrical equipment. Be mindful of accidents. And it is a good full moon to be spending time at home with your family, with children in your family, okay? And good for you to be kind of reflecting on, where do you want your home and your family life to go moving forward? What are you passionate about? Do you want to have a family? If you don't already have a family, are you happy with where you're living? Are you happy with how the kind of physical possessions in the home and layout in the home makes you feel? Something for you to be thinking about. You've got also the dispositor of the moon, the sun, in your 10th house. So there can be a ending or completion having to do with your work, your career, or your long-term goals as well. And I'm hearing Spirit say that you're being ignited and initiated into even greater heights professionally. So believe in yourself, Taurus. Sending lots of love your way. Next, we've got our Gemini, sun, moon, and risings. Gemini, you're having this full moon in Leo in your 3rd house. So this is interesting because the 3rd house deals with our local community, local people, and this, full moon is in a T-square to Uranus, which is like-minded groups, friends. So this full moon is definitely highlighting your friends, your group associations in the local community. Also your siblings and your neighbors and your cousins, what you're learning, subjects you're passionate about. This could be a time where you are completed with a subject that you've perhaps been studying, and it can become apparent to you something new that you maybe want to dive into in terms of a study or a course or a learning. Also good for you to be looking at your friends and the people that you associate yourself with, 3rd house, and do they make you feel positive and good and uplifted, or do they make you feel disempowered, right? Is there maybe a friendship or a sibling that you've given your power and your love and your light away to? MJ, thank you so much for the super chat. Mwah! Love you. Love you guys so much. Thank you. So it is one of the lighter houses, Gemini, to have the full moon in Leo. I do like it for going into your local community, doing a full moon ceremony, yoga, meditation, sound bath, drumming circle. There can be new friends coming into your life, but also a letting go of maybe some friends, relationships, subjects that you are complete with and no longer serve you as well. And want you guys to be mindful of driving short distance travel at the time of this full moon. Just double check, triple check everything as well. Love you, Geminis, so much. And I'm sending lots of cosmic love your way. Okay, next we've got our Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Risings. And Cancers are having this full moon in Leo in your second house. So Cancers, this is very much about your values, your income, your resources, your pleasure, your enjoyment in life. We've got this full moon in a T-square to Uranus in your 11th house. So, you know, how are your friends and your group associations affecting your value? Do you feel empowered by those people in your life? Do you even know what your values are? Are you passionate about how you're making your money and your income, right? Guys, we are stepping into times where if you really believe in yourself and you put the energy into a passion, you can do that passion. It's going to become easier and easier to do it. Look at me. I'm a freaking astrologer, psychic medium. Okay. And I am doing that full time. And I put the energy into it and I do it and I work my butt off and it works. When you put the energy in, it works towards your passions. So Cancers, this is a full moon where there can be passions turning into an income stream or the end of some income streams or investments that no longer serve you anymore. You do have the dispositor of this full moon, which is the sun in Aquarius in your 8th house. So this is a time of big transformation and letting go. I'm hearing Spirit say letting go of beliefs, letting go of programs. For the Cancers, this feels really, really deep. This might be a good full moon for you if it resonates for you to see like a psychotherapist, an astrologer, a shaman, a psychic medium, to get some professional assistance, because I think a lot of you can be going through some very big breakthroughs at this time where it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to want to talk to someone for support. So just getting that is a little bit of a message for you guys. Love you, Cancers. Okay, next we go to the Leos. Leos, this is your annual full moon in Leo. Happy full moon in Leo, of course, happening in your 1st house. So for you, this can be high drama time, high creative time, fun time, romantic time. I feel like from Leo to Leo, it can be different. Okay, I feel like for some Leos, this could actually be a really fun, creative, romantic full moon. And then for other Leos, it could be kind of trippy, sporadic, really unstable, really destabilizing. We've got transit Uranus in your 10th house. So this is, you know, a lot to do with your long-term goals, your career, your work, your legacy. Are you in alignment with your legacy at the moment? The dispositor of the full moon, the sun, is in your 7th house. So your love life, your commitments, committed relationships are highlighted as well. And there can be some letting go, completion, transformation happening in those areas too. So Leo, this is a big full moon to have in your sign, your annual Leo moon. It is not a normal one. It is quite a doozy. So I want you guys to be taking extra self-care out there, and good time to put yourself in the spotlight. Expect the unexpected. Okay. Love you guys so much and sending lots of cosmic love your way. Next, we've got our Virgo, sun, moon, and rising. Sorry, you guys, I'm so thirsty because I've just come from the desert of Nevada. So I'm just like super thirsty right now. Okay, Virgos, we have got this full moon in Leo in your 12th house. Okay, so this is sensitive, this is spiritual, this is dreamy. And you know, this full moon, 24 degrees, is happening at a Pisces degree 12th house is the Pisces ruled areas of life. So Virgo, you can be feeling highly sensitive. This is actually a good full moon for you to be doing some behind the scenes work, doing some rest, doing some recoup, rejuvenation, doing things that you're passionate about behind the scenes. Okay, working on passion projects, working creatively, working spiritually, and paying attention to your dreams. Is that the third time that I've said that? Spirit wants me to keep saying that to you guys. There can be very big intuitive insights coming through for you at this time. I think a lot of the Virgos might actually be traveling in a foreign country or possibly planning a foreign trip. At this time, the 12th house is faraway places, and you've got Uranus and T-square this full moon in the 9th house of foreign locations as well. So your consciousness is expanding, and travel might be something that a lot of you guys are doing or thinking about. We've also got the dispositor of this full moon, the sun, in your 6th house, the Virgo house. So this is a sensitive one for you spiritually and also physically. You can be feeling ascension symptoms very, very strong. So love you, Virgos, so much. And I'm sending lots of cosmic love your way. Libra, sun, moon, and risings, you are having this full moon in Leo in your 11th house. Okay, so this is interesting because 11th house is the Aquarius ruled areas of life. Oh, Linda, thank you so much for the super chat. Can't wait to meet you and give you a big hug in March at the conference as well. That'll be so much fun. Sorry, Libras. Yeah, so the 11th house is the Aquarian ruled areas of life. This full moon is in T-square to Uranus. So this is going to be shocking, surprising, unexpected happenings and events. Your relationship to technology is very much highlighted. You may be wanting to let go, or it is a good time rather, to be letting go of like social media addiction, technological addiction, unhealthy patterns that you might have with technology or social media. At this time, there can be an ending or completion with a friend or a group association or a long-term goal. There can also be an illumination of, passions that you have with friends or that you have with like-minded community that you want to be doing more of going into the future. We've got the dispositor of this moon, the sun, in your 5th house. So this is very creative. There is a fun element to this. I like this full moon for getting out, being around friends, being around like-minded people, but letting go of some of the unexpected things that might be coming up for you that you didn't realize it's perhaps time to be letting go of, or some of the unexpected friends or people in your life that you've allowed in that might not be really holding space for you in the way that serves you for your highest good. So, and 11th houses are long-term goals and wishes. So align your passions and your love and your light with those long-term goals and wishes. Love you all so much, and sending lots of cosmic love your way. Okay, Scorpios, you are having this full moon in Leo in your 10th house. So this is about your public reputation, your career, your work, your long-term goals, your parents. Okay, many Scorplings might be going through, your parents might be going through a wake up. And that also goes for any of the signs I just mentioned. I just realized that now. If you have houses that rule particular people in your life, you might want to rewind because those people may be going through wake ups. Okay, this T-square is with Uranus, the planet of our higher consciousness and waking up out of the matrix. So Scorpios, you may be noticing older people in your life, aunts, uncles, parents, grandparents, starting to go through a wake up, completion, or ending having to do with work or your career or your long-term goals. Very good for you to be in the spotlight professionally, that's for sure. You've got the dispositor, the sun, in your 4th house. So it's also highlighting your home and your family. Good time to be cleaning up the home, thinking about what needs to be let go of, having to do with the home or family or emotional baggage. So love you, Scorpios, so, so much. Wishing you a very magical full moon in Leo. Sagittarians, you are having this full moon in your 9th house, in your home house. Okay, so this is can feel quite fun. Some of you Saggies might actually be traveling in a foreign country or planning a foreign trip or completing a long distance travel abroad or completing a course that you have been taking. And I'm hearing Spirit say for the Saggies, it's time to take the knowledge and translate that into action. So that's a very specific message for you guys, but I'm hearing that for you. It's time to take the knowledge that you've learned and translate that into action. So Spirit's making me feel like a lot of you Saggies have been taking in information. Maybe you've been doing lots of courses. Maybe you've been doing lots of studying, meditation, travel. It's time to put that into action. Full moon in Leo. Be in your gifts and talents, live your passion every day, and let go, again, I've been saying this throughout the video, of what makes you feel disempowered from being in your truth and being in your light. So you're having this in a light house. You do have the dispositor in your 3rd house, highlighting your friends, your local community. There can feel like a need to come home, a need to be around your local community, local people, which can actually be good for you at this time. So sending lots of love your way, Saggies, and have a very magical full moon. Capricorn, sun, moon, and risings, you're having this full moon in Leo in your 8th house. So, wow, this is a doozy. Okay, this can be potentially very dramatic or very entertaining, to say the least, for the Capricorns, because it's full moon in your 8th house of Scorpio. Intensity, real deal healing, secrets, the hidden side of life, merging resources with a partner, your partner and your soulmate, with the T-square to Uranus in your 5th house. So it's kind of like circus all over the place. I feel like there's a lot that can be going on for the Capricorns, and it feels like you're grounding even further into who you are. There may be drama going on with a family member, with a child, with a romantic partner, with someone close to you that you really, really love. But I'm hearing Spirit say, know that this is short-lived, and it's important not to take everything so personally from everybody else. And I know that that's a lot easier to say than to do, but I'm getting that very strong for the Capricorns. Don't take everything so personally from everyone else. Okay, but it feels like there can possibly be a lot of potential drama coming up for you at this time. You're releasing a lot, and the people around you can be releasing a lot as well. So love you, Capricorn, sending lots and lots of love your way. Happy full moon. Aquarius, sun, moon, and risings, you're having this full moon in your 7th house of Leo. Okay, so this is very romantic, because Leo is the sign of romance. 7th house is our long-term committed relationships. There can feel like potential instability in your committed relationships, in your personal commitments. You're being invited to really look at the love partner, really look at the work partner, be honest with yourself about, does this person, does the commitments that you have in your life really serve you, okay, in the light and the love and the passion of who you really are in your soul. We've got the dispositor, the sun, of course, in your sign, in your 1st house. So this can be a very empowering full moon, can be intense, can be potential power struggles with people that you love in your life, but it's nothing that you can't handle, Aquarians. You've got Pluto in your sign. You've got such kick-ass transits right now. You are definitely going through a big, big initiation, and it's important for you to go with the flow of what is coming up and not poo-poo any of the challenges or truths being revealed in your relationships and your commitments. So sending lots and lots of love your way, and have a happy full moon. Last but not least, we got our magical Pisces, sun, moon, and risings. You're having this full moon in your 6th house of health, day-to-day work, organization, your pets. So Pisces, there could actually be the ending or completion of a health issue that you've been going through of a health regimen or protein or routine that you've been doing, okay, there is a way to balance your spiritual gifts, your magical self, and be grounded in the physical world, right? Sixth house is the physical world. It's Virgo. It's being organized and grounded in the physical. 12th house, where we've got the sun, the disposer of this full moon, Pisces ruled house, is that which is not of this world. So Pisces, how can you balance the physical with the spiritual? Are you being way too in the spiritual realm and you're not freaking grounded at all? Or are you being hyper focused on health and trying to be perfect in terms of health? There's a balance. Okay. I'm getting that very strong for you guys, Pisces. This full moon is very much about the balance of your well-being, and none of us are perfect, and don't be too hard on yourself. Okay. I feel like some of you Pisces are maybe being really hard on yourself. You can be noticing that you're really exaggerated, like maybe way too in the spiritual or the woo. Balance it out with this full moon in your sixth house. Maybe doing, an exercise or doing a cleanse or creating a new routine for yourself that you love. Leo is about love and what feels good, and that's what will actually work for you. Okay. So sending lots of love, Pisces. And wow, we've gone through all 12 of the signs. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this full moon in Leo video for the collective and all 12 signs. Had these glasses on the whole time because, as I said, I was on a red-eye flight last night. My eyes are a little bit red and I'm feeling sensitive to the screen. So I hope you guys don't mind. Got this eyewear going on. This is going to be an interesting full moon, going to be exact tomorrow from when I'm filming this video. Again, Wednesday, February 12th at around 8:53 a.m. Eastern. So wishing you all such a magical full moon. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Meg Moonbeam YouTube, Rumble, and X channels. All my links for my newsletter sign up, courses, workshops, personal readings, PayPal tip jar, all that stuff is below. Got some cool things that we're going to be announcing soon. So stay tuned. And I love you all so, so much. Again, love you. I just keep saying, love you guys so much. Have an absolutely full moon. And I will see you all tomorrow for the daily Astro Show for Wednesday and Thursday. Okay, everybody. Bye.